Have you found yourself in the position that when something goes wrong in the business, then you're the one who has to step in and solve the problem? Now, it's true when you start your business and your business is in its early stages that you need to be the one who's really pushing everything. You're normally the person who wears all of the hats and gets everything done. But of course, as your business grows to 7 and 8 figures in revenue, you need to not only hire the people, but you also need to redesign how the business works. If every decision and every problem still converges and comes back to you, then you haven't redesigned your business in the way that it needs to operate moving forward. You ultimately become the bottleneck which stops the further growth of your business. Now, many business owners, they're a technical expert and they start their business because they don't want to have a boss and don't want to have a cap on their income. But that's the curse of the technical expert. Now, you being the technical expert and the central person works till about when you get to 2 to 3 million in revenue. But as soon as you get to that point, you start becoming the bottleneck and the person who's actually stopping the growth of the business. I call it the founder trap. And ultimately, you're paying the founder tax, the tax which is stopping your business growth. What does the tax man do? The tax man ultimately just takes money out of your pocket for you doing the work. And that's what you end up doing to your business because you become the central point and that point stops with you. And therefore, your business also stops with you and you can no longer grow past that point. And it's not just about growth. It's about giving yourself the freedom that you want to be able to do the things that you value independent of the business. Because the whole point that you started the business is to get the freedom back. And if you're trapping yourself in your business, then you don't have a business, you have a job with overheads. The only way to free yourself from that is to develop the operating system that's going to allow you to step away from the day-to-day operations of the business and that the business can move forward without you. Now, if you are the bottleneck of your business, you probably see that you're having less time to spend with friends and family, your stress levels are probably going up, and sometimes you're working on the weekends and maybe skipping those holidays. Why? Because of the demands of the business are too much. But they're only the surface level problems that you're seeing from your business. But the other costs to the business are that managers rely on you for everything. They're unable to make decisions for themselves. All of the employees defer to you and defer to your thoughts and your ideas as opposed to coming up with ideas themselves. And when that happens, your phone doesn't stop ringing. Your email inbox gets bigger and bigger instead of having complete peace and quiet. Burnout starts stepping in and it starts affecting other areas of your business. But not only does the revenue and the profit also stop when that happens because you're the bottleneck of your business, but also the business has no value. Because if all of the value lies in your decision making and your ability to call the shots, then that business ultimately has no value in itself. Now, how does that even come about? Because as a business owner, you're probably thinking, right, if I get to that decision faster, if I am the one who's able to do something, have you ever heard of that saying, if you want something done properly, you do it yourself? Then that's probably the way that you've been operating your business until now. But that's actually the problem because you can actually get other people to do the job in the way that you do it. It might not be 100% of the way that you do it, but at least it get to 80% or 90% of the way that you do it. And that's good enough because your customers will still be getting the value that they paid for. Now, I've got something called the owner vacation test. It's a quiz that you can take to see how dependent or independent is the business of you. Can you take a break from your business for an extended period of time and will it continue to operate or will it crumble apart? And I work with founders and owners to fix that problem and to ensure that their business can operate without them. Because what the best businesses do is that they create leaders who can make decisions themselves. They document all of the processes. They have flows in place to ensure that the business can operate without you, without the owner being the bottleneck and without the owner making the decisions. So ultimately, problems get solved without you and your customers get served without you being in the picture. That creates a more valuable business. And when you have a valuable business, you have options. You have options to take more time off as a business owner. You have more options to reduce your work week from 5 days a week down to maybe 3 days a week or even 2 days a week. You have options to go on holiday for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days at a time without anything happening to your business. Now, when you create a business like that, your business becomes valuable, and with those options, another option also opens up. You can actually sell your business. Now, business owners do make more money overall than people who don't own a business, but the real money is made when a business is sold. And the reason for that is that because let's take your profit for the year. So let's say, for example, currently you're making 3 million in profit per year. And that profit, you're taking that after taxes, you're probably left with, let's say, for example, 1.5 million per year that you're taking out from your business. Let's say a million, make it a square number because you want to reinvest in your business as well. So taking a million a year and you're getting that after taxes. But that same business that is generating 3 million a year, if you were able to sell it at a 5x multiple, you would be able to get 15 million pounds or $15 million on the day of the sale of the business. So instead of you only taking 1 million a year and it taking you 15 years to be able to get 15 million pounds from your business, you can sell your business and on one day you'll be able to cash in 15 million pounds from your business. And that's what happens when you free yourself from what I call an operational exit. If you're able to exit yourself from the day-to-day operations of the business and be the person who doesn't have to firefight, be the person who doesn't have to make the decisions, be the person who doesn't have to step in and solve all of the problems of your business, then you ultimately solve the problem that you've been trying to solve with your business. Now, all businesses have problems and all businesses have issues, and it's difficult. I know that. But the goal is to have a business where every problem and every decision doesn't come back to you. It's that other people are able to step in and solve those problems without you being required. That's when you know you've got a management team of leaders. That's when you know that you can get your time back. And that's when you know you have a valuable business. So take the owner vacation test in the description and continue to watch videos on this channel where I talk about buying and selling businesses and making businesses independent from the owner themselves. And I'll see you in the next video.